This is My Favorite DJ, the podcast. Something that I forgot. I recorded this whole podcast. This is at the end. And then I remembered that I should probably do this at the beginning. So there's a new way to support the podcast. I have an Amazon influencer page. So basically, Amazon's allowing me to have a bunch of products that I use, and you guys can see what I use for the podcast, what microphones I use to record, the recorder that I have, the kind of batteries, the kind of SD card. Then there's a section called In My DJ Bag, so you'll see everything from like a computer protector sticker that I have on my computer to the selfie stick or the monopod that I use to take my pictures when I'm traveling, solid state hard drive that I carry with me with all my music. It's like a time machine backup. Then I have other sections. I'm going to add a lot more products to this. Just things that I use in my day-to-day life, like the kind of protein powder I take, some of the wraps that I use when I go boxing, the vitamins that I take. I have a section for a home studio. So all of the things that I have in my home studio, the kind of speakers, the kind of cables, the kind of tripod that I use for my camera, the kind of camera I use, all those things are on this Amazon storefront page. They can be accessed at amazon.com/shop/my-favorite-DJ. It's a long-ass link, so it's going to be in the show notes. So if you just go to the information of this podcast, I don't know if it does it on Spotify. I think it should. But on the podcast app, I know for sure you have clickable links. And then on Spotify, I don't know if you can click through, but you can at least see it. And you can check out all of these products that I have up. And if you're going to buy anything from there, it will directly support the podcast. So I wanted to get that out there. And I remembered at the end of the podcast, so I decided to put this at the beginning. And now we can start. This is My Favorite DJ, the podcast. If you're in Las Vegas, Saturday, February 23rd, I am at r.o.a.d Bellagio. Which, by the way, I recently played at Gala Park in Cincinnati, and I spoke to the tech that was working with me that night, and he said that they tried to model the feeling of the club after r.o.a.d Bellagio. Not after any of the other major clubs in Las Vegas, not after newer clubs, not after the clubs where the high-profile producers work at, but rather an open format club, which to me, when he said that they tried to model their club after that, it was like total validation. I've been a resident for r.o.a.d in Las Vegas for about 7 years. So I'm the longest running resident there, and along with a handful of other guys that are in the open format game, we've been pretty much the only DJs that have played there. Like, they've had some celebrity DJs here and there, but for the most part, it's been open format guys, and not that many. But what we, I think, have been able to do is just consistently put together nights where the majority of the crowd is happy. And it's like this perfect Goldilocks zone of service, music, atmosphere. The view is incredible. The price points, the fact that everyone from the door staff to the barbacks are dialed in, and they've been there for a while, some of them since the club's opened, and everyone knows how to treat customers right. And I think that makes a really big difference in the experience. And then add to that it's never been impossible to get into, because even on the nights where it's really heavy, there isn't 7,000 people trying to see the new hot producer that's working there, because it's been an open format DJ. So the fact that there are other clubs around the country modeling their nightclubs after something that I've been a part of for so long was like, oh wow, that's like kind of a validating point, to take it in a completely egotistical light. That was a long-winded way of saying, meet me in Las Vegas, February 23rd. I'll be at r.o.a.d Bellagio. The 28th, I'm at 11 in Miami playing after hours. Then I'm going to be playing, March 1st is going to be Sway in Fort Lauderdale. Orlando, I'm coming to Eve on Saturday, March 2nd. Orlando, I'm going to be in your city. Orlando, DJs, hit me up. Let's go ride some roller coasters or show me where the dope, healthy food spots are at. March 2nd in Orlando. And then Sunday, March 3rd, Hyde Beach in Miami. Then I'm going to be in Vegas on Tuesday the 5th. And waiting on my buddy Chris Duano to give me some good news about San Antonio. Trying to lock up a date in San Antonio for March. And then April's already filling up. I mean, I'll talk about those dates after. It's still a little early. Let's see. Today, I decided to do an all Instagram podcast because last time I did an all Twitter podcast and I said on Twitter, send me your questions. And there was a lot of really good questions. And then a lot of great questions came through on Instagram today when I did the same. So all I did was say, hey guys, send me your questions and I'll answer. So these are in no particular order. There's some really good ones. And then there's some questions that I can just answer a little bit quicker. I wanted to say quicker and then quickly. And then it would have turned into quickerly and further diminished my ability to adequately push forward words with my dumb mouth. So I'm not going to read these in any order. I'm just going to read these questions as I go through them on my Instagram and then just delete them as I go. So the first question comes from, if I read the handles, I might butcher them, but I apologize. So Igram, your ma'am. And I don't know if that's supposed to be Igram, your ma'am, or Igram, yo, your ma'am. There's a million ways to read that, but the question is, how would you feel if the warm-up DJ was using a controller? Would you think they were less of a DJ than someone on decks or CDJs? No, not at all. Somebody that's on a controller, even if they were playing on internal mode without anything, maybe they just hooked up to the mixer playing on internal mode, as long as you're doing the job, I don't think it really matters. I can play on internal mode, I can play on a controller. If it sounds good, then, what's the problem? There's no problem there. It's just whatever. I know that there's like this whole, there might be the idea that controller DJs are lesser. And I think it's propagated because old school vinyl heads would be like, their turntables are the way to go. Turntables are the way to go. And opinions in this game change so quickly. People are quick to flip-flop on shit. So, like, some of the dudes that 10 years ago might have been like, vinyl only, fuck CDJs. Today are like, oh, fuck vinyl, I'm using CDJs. I can't even deal with that vinyl shit, carrying needles and records everywhere, and then the bass. Fuck it, I'm on CDJs. And then if there's some shit tomorrow, they might be like, fuck CDJs, and then they hop on the next shit. It's like, meh, it's whatever. Like, whatever you sound good with, you really shouldn't take other people's opinions so strongly, because everyone's going to have their own opinion, and maybe somebody does think that you're a lesser DJ because you're on a controller. The fuck does that mean to you? Just kill it. Just do your shit. Make sure you play a good set. If you're opening, don't run up on the headliner shit, and then maybe you can be the guy that changes that person's mind about how they see a DJ with a controller. So there's that one. And I'm not going to delete that because we still got to talk about some other things. All right. DJ EMP. Can you talk about your Scratch Live workaround? Has it been tested on other operating systems other than Sierra? So, a couple things here. I took from the Serato forums. There's basically forums on the Serato webpage where people talk about things, some of the problems that they've had when they update their operating system, if it works with the programs that they're using. People ask each other for help and they troubleshoot, and it's a whole. It goes back years and years and years. But on the forums, for years now, there's been a workaround to install Scratch Live, which is an older program, on new operating systems. And I think the problem that prevented that from happening without this workaround is that the new operating system saw this old program and did not want to allow it to be installed because the operating system feared for its integrity. So it didn't know if the program would run properly or what it would do. So since that program had not been updated by the creator, Serato, they just wouldn't let you install it. So on the forums for years, there's been this workaround, which is basically disabling SIP, which is like system integrity protection. So you would disable this, and I did a video on it. It's on my IGTV on my Instagram. If you go to my Instagram and find the IGTV icon, it's a 1-minute video, and it's also on my Twitter, my favorite DJ. It's a 1-minute video showing you how to basically install Scratch Live on every single operating system, Yosemite and upwards, up to Mojave, which is the most recent. So basically what happened is my friend DJ Jessica Who, her computer, I think got stolen. And she had to basically get a new computer. And she had Yosemite on her old computer, like many of us do, because we could run Scratch Live and r.o.a.d DJ. So I had never wanted to be the guinea pig to test out r.o.a.d Scratch Live, the older program, on new computers, because this is what I do. I'm a professional DJ, so I need my shit to run tight. I know that it runs tight on Yosemite. Boom, I'm done. Like, I don't need a new operating system to do my job more efficiently. Like, I DJ on turntables, sometimes on CDJs. So all I need is my music to be there, and everything else is done with my hands. I don't need an operating system to be brand new and last week's operating system or last week's computer. Like, none of that shit really matters to me. I just play music, which kind of, is a throwback to the first question. Like, if you do your job, who cares what you're doing on, right? So Jessica had to basically get a new computer, install r.o.a.d DJ, and she didn't know the workaround. But then DJ Diesel in Scottsdale installed it on her computer through this workaround, and I thought, you know what? She was asking us how she could do it, and then I really had never tried it. So I have a backup computer at my house, which is the same computer I have, but like a year newer. It's a 2015 Retina, and it's pristine. It's got like 50 battery cycles on it. It's still in a case. I just hold it in case I need it, in case something happens to my primary computer. I have that backup, and I have hard drives. I could just time machine, and I'm good to go. And then I just buy another backup, and just like redundancy in the system. I like having things that I use on a regular basis backed up and ready to be replaced if something goes wrong. So that computer came with Sierra, the operating system Sierra. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to make a video of me installing it and see if it actually works. So basically, when you disable the SIP, the System Integrity Protection, I think it was, you're telling the operating system to allow any program to be installed. At least this is what you would use it for. So disable SIP, and then you install Scratch Live, and then you re-enable SIP, and then the program's installed already, and it works. So I confirmed that it works on Sierra with an SL3 box. Jessica tells me that it works. She's got an SL2 box, I believe. I had a DJ hit me up on Instagram who had like the original Serato box, like not even the SL1, just like the original Serato, and it hooks up and it works. The only thing that I've heard is that there's a problem with the SL4. So your mileage may vary if you actually do this. But if you want to see the video on how to do it, it's on my Instagram, IGTV, or it's on my Twitter, my favorite DJ. It's a 1-minute video. It's real easy, self-explanatory. If you need to pause it, you can pause it. The reason why I put it out on social media platforms is so it can be accessed via phone. Because if you're doing this with your computer and you get lost and you don't have access to YouTube, then you're like stuck in the middle of this process without knowing what to do. But now you have your phone in front of you and you're running it with your computer, and you never have to worry about getting lost through the process. And it's a very simple process. It's worked for me. It's worked for Jessica. I'm on Sierra OS. She's on Mojave. The only issues that I've found, or that I've been told about so far, is the SL4 box doesn't work with Scratch Live. So there you go. It works on the new computers. It works on the USB-C new computers. It works on the touch bar computers. It works on every operating system as long as you do that. Now, the bad news is that eventually Apple, I think after this operating system, Mojave, the one that's going on now, sorry for all the nerd tech talk, but this is kind of what we do anyway. So after Mojave, they're going to stop supporting 32-bit applications. I don't know what that means, but I know that Serato Scratch Live is a 32-bit application, and r.o.a.d DJ is a 64-bit application, which means after Mojave, you will not be able to do this. Now, maybe somebody figures out a workaround to that. I'm sure that there are plenty of 32-bit programs that people might still want to run on new computers. So somebody's going to figure something out eventually because they figured this out, how to run older applications on new operating systems. So that's all the Scratch Live talk for this one. And we'll go to the next question, which none of these are in order, and I just lost my place, which is not good. But I'll find it in a second. Or here's a good one. Why do clubs/promoters only want people with a following at their clubs? That's easy, because people with a following can tell their friends, hey, come out and dance and party and drink and spend money at the bar. So then people spend money at the bar, and the bar makes more money than it would have if that person, DJ, artist, producer, celebrity, whoever, wasn't there. So it's just a money thing. Follow-up question is, do the clubs and promoters care about people having a good time or just spending money? It's a little bit of both, because if you're having a good time, you're going to spend money. So ideally, you get a DJ that can play good music and that can bring a couple people that has a following, and then that way you have like the best of both worlds, right? And if the DJ is a killer, like, for example, let's say Mark Ronson. He's a producer, he's a DJ, he's got a following, obviously. He's produced for some of the most amazing acts that have ever existed. And when he is at a venue, he'll sell tickets. So that's why they would pay him more money than they would pay someone who doesn't have a following or production credits, because he brings people to the club. And then the added bonus is that he's a DJ, so he plays good music and people have a good time, and then it all comes together. And there's a couple of other DJs like that out there. That I would want to use as examples for the optimal, booking. So they care about both, people having a good time and spending their money. But some people, some bookers, some managers, some club owners might not be smart enough to know what DJs are good and what DJs aren't, because they're just musically tone deaf. They just don't understand anything. They don't understand rhythm. They don't understand the club business. They had some money. They decided to invest it into something, and they went with a nightclub. They're like, fuck it, I'm just going to put this thing up here, get a liquor license, and sling some booze to some kids. And, by kids, I mean people over 21. And then, he's got to learn, she's got to learn, this club owner's got to learn along the way, and they might have no clue, but they know this. $200 is less than $500. So if there's a DJ saying, I'll do it for $200, and then you're saying, I'll do it for $500, all they know is, this is less than that. I keep more. This is what I want. They don't understand all the ripple effects that happen by making that decision. So that's just what it is. And there's a lot of other podcasts where I've kind of gone over that. All right. Sorry, I didn't read I'm just going to move forward here. I didn't read the handle, but if I forget the handle, I apologize. Bobby Boucher 216 says, with all the different mixers on the market, why do you prefer the 900 over some others? What are the pros and cons that you see with the 900 along with the other mixers out there? Well, Pioneer 900 is the evolution of the 800, is the evolution of, I'm guessing, something else. I don't know the lineage that well, but those mixers are tried and true inside of nightclubs. They have 4 channels. So nightclubs that would have, let's say, 2 DJs could go on 2 and 3, 1 and 4. So you would have like a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not variability. Oh man, you guys are like probably yelling like, it's that. When you can, versatility. There we go. Damn, I can't believe I forgot that word. You have a lot of versatility with the channels. It's a 4-channel mixer. So the sound card on the 900 is amazing. The 900 mixer, I think, sounds the best of any professional mixer for nightclub setting. And there are probably high-end house music mixers that are like rotary knob, or that are super, super expensive, that have incredible sound. But for the most part, for what we do in the open format game, you don't really need that. And a lot of the sound systems are going to be tuned for different kinds of music. Because take Live for example. You have Live on Sunday where they play hip hop, and then you'll get the Saturday night. Well, you will get Calvin Harris, so he'll play like melodic house music and a lot of different EDM style music, and then Friday night you'll have open format. So like the sound system is basically tuned in a general sounding way. That's probably not the best way to phrase it, but you know how you have your equalizers on your radio. It's just like, make this sound the best possible. You have like different options. It's like classical, rock, hip hop. Like you can pick those tunings on your radio easily, but when you have a major nightclub that has angles and different dead pockets and sound dampeners in some places, and then in the walls, maybe some of the walls are treated specifically to keep sound from bothering hotel guests in a club like Live, and then you have arches and angles and echo. You can't be tuning the system every day to some different kind of music, so you give it a general tuning to where it all sounds good. So a high-end mixer doesn't make a lot of sense because it's probably not going to be the optimal thing. But you have this DJM 900 by Pioneer, whether it be the original, the Nexus 2, that has a fantastic sound card, and it sounds really good across the board no matter how your system is tuned. So you have the versatility of multiple tracks, you have a great sound card, the effects are great, the trim knobs, everything that you can do to each individual track is fantastic. The fader's good. It's good. It's a bit, I would say, borderline very good fader. The Nexus 2 is like really good. So that's why those mixers are used everywhere, because it's a great general purpose, versatile, robust mixer. They can get beat up a little bit and then still keep trucking. Pioneer is by far, as far as I've heard, the best mixer for nightclub. Now, I've played on the 900. I'm sorry, not the 900. I played on the S9, and the S9 is not anywhere near sound quality that the 900 is in a major nightclub. I think somebody told me, I forget who it was. I think it was my friend Jason at Hyde, is a light tech, who told me that Pioneer basically put in a lesser sound card because they were like, if we put in a better sound card, this mixer is going to cost $2,500, and it just doesn't make sense for like bedroom DJing, for like DJing at home, which a lot of people are going to use it for. And they were right. Most of the DJs you see put out routines, and some of the top DJs in the industry have an S9, but they have it at home. So it doesn't have the most fantastic sound card because it doesn't have to drive an entire nightclub. So there's that question. Let's delete that and move on. So here's a PSA from DJ Marco Penta. For people with the new MacBook laptops with touch bars, if you play a spot with an LED wall or any bright flashing lights behind you, it will lag Serato DJ, only visually, unless you tape the ambient light sensor or shut off the sensors in the settings. It is a known issue by Serato, waiting for the fix. So there you guys go. If you have that problem, you can fix it that way. And then we have who do we have here? DJ Big Al 1. This is a good question. Why are mobile DJs not respected as much as a club DJ when most of them are making more money than the club DJ? And if the mobile DJ is talented, he can do weddings, have an opener at the club, and head to the club and double dip. In my opinion, a lot of clubs are oversaturated with DJs, and the mobile industry is in need for good DJs. Don't get it twisted. Rocking a wedding or a corporate party is completely different than doing a club. Not all DJs can do both. Thank you. Love the podcast. So, I completely agree that mobile DJs get kind of looked at, I think, as a whole, like that they're lesser. Like there's a hierarchy, but I don't see that at all. Whenever somebody tells me, oh, I do weddings, I'm like, damn, bitch, like, get ready for when I retire. Give me a job, because I know what you guys make. I know what mobile DJs make. You guys crush it. You guys kill it. You think that you're killing it in the nightclub, getting $500 a night. These guys have a one-time expense of equipment, maybe a fog machine, a lighting truss, a couple of lights, and now they're charging $2,000 for a wedding. And that's probably on the low end. They're charging $1,500 for a birthday, and that's like 4 hours if you're lucky. And we're out here saying, oh yeah, make $500 on an off night to DJ at the club for 3 hours, 2 hours. Look at me, I'm cool. Man, these guys are banking. So just from the perspective of money, my respect to you mobile DJs out there. It's tough. I know. It's kind of tough. You gotta hustle, and you gotta get your clientele, and you do your everything, and you gotta carry your own equipment, and there's a lot of downfalls to it, but you know what you make. You know what you make. You make freaking great money. So I don't disparage mobile DJs at all. And if anyone out there does, then who cares? Look, that's going to be the theme for this whole podcast, because it happens a lot that people will have opinions about what they think people will have opinions about what you're doing. Oh, you shouldn't do this. You should do it this way. It's like, okay, but you're sitting down at home, not doing anything, and you're trying to armchair quarterback my life or my decisions, my professional decisions here. It's like, how seriously can you take these people? So if you're a mobile DJ and somebody looks down on you because they're in nightclubs, then just be like, that's cool, man. I get it. You don't have to one up them. You don't have to say, what's your tax return look like? I'll show you mine, you show me yours, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see who has the last laugh after that. Because don't do that. That's just, who cares? People are going to have their opinions regardless. And if somebody looks down on you for something that you're doing, then just keep it moving. If they bring it up, which they probably won't, because that's how that kind of person rolls. Somebody that looks down on you for something, or that thinks you're doing something wrong, or they think that you're lesser because of whatever reason, they're not going to go up to you and say it. Why? Psychology 101, maybe. Because what sense does it make for someone to go up to you and say, oh, you're a mobile DJ? Oh, yeah, you're less than a club DJ. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of letting that person be less? If you're going to somebody and you're like, hey, you're less than, why are you taking the energy? Why are you taking the time? Why do you care? If somebody's less than and you go up to them and tell them, if they're less than, then let them be less than. Oh, wait, like third place does not matter to first place. If your team is in first place and you're running a marathon and third place is running behind you talking shit, but they're way far behind, the team in first place isn't going to turn around and be like, hey, stop talking shit back there. We're in first place. Just keep running in first place, man. Don't worry about what people behind you are yelling about. Just keep that race moving. So if you're a mobile DJ and you feel like other DJs look at you like you're less, then get rid of that. Shake it off. You're in first place. You're living in the greatest country. You have monetary freedom. You get to DJ for a living and play music. You have badass you have badass electronics. You have great equipment. You get to make people dance and smile and have a good time. And you might make somebody's wedding or somebody's birthday. You get to impact somebody's life. And they cut you a fat fucking check. Come on. And then you're going to be worried about somebody saying, hey, you're not as good as the people that work at night at the club. Nah, just keep it moving. You guys are crushing. I've thought about starting a mobile business for years. I just haven't had the time, and I'm making like really good money doing what I'm doing, and my attention is split across a bunch of other things. But the second that something slows down or that I drop one of the things that I have my focus on, it's easy to branch off and start doing that. You have years of contacts and that's my brain. Sorry, I was going to go off on a tangent and just develop my whole business plan on on mobile DJing, but you're a mobile DJ, you're crushing it. And you could most likely do both, even though there's a very big difference between club DJing and mobile DJing. But, here's the similarity. Here's one connecting link that club DJs and mobile DJs can both agree on that they have to deal with. I'm going to go ahead and say that there is no club owner or promoter or bottle popper that's ever existed that's worse than a bride on their wedding day, or the mother of the bride, or the father of the bride, or the parents of a birthday while you're DJing. What do I mean? There's been times where an owner, and this is one of the other questions, I wonder if I could pull it up. When an owner comes up to you and goes, hey, play this song. And one of the other questions, I'm just going to paraphrase it here, is that there was a situation where a DJ was playing music. The owner came up and said, hey, play this music right now. And the DJ said, yo, I know what I'm doing. This is my job. Let me do what I'm doing. And the question was basically, do you think he did the right thing, or should he have listened to the owner and done what the owner wanted? So I'll answer that in a second. But what I'm getting at here is that DJs have to deal with that in nightclubs sometimes, and not just from owners, but from managers, sometimes from promoters that are like, yo, this guy's going to pop off a bottle for $10,000, $20,000. You got to play this song. And you're like, right now? It's like, yeah. There's been times where I've been DJing at nightclubs and I'm playing fucking Dreams and Nightmares, or playing some other great hip hop song that gets you fired up. And then they're like, we're doing a presentation, play Star Wars, play fucking Rocky, play a car siren because we're bringing out the bottles on a plastic car and they're holding it up. It happens, but I am gonna say that there's never a time where I've had to experience a bridezilla or a father of the bride or parents of a birthday kid that are like, do this thing right now. That's probably the worst. So there's one connecting link that club DJs and wedding DJs have in common. And I'm going to give the edge to wedding DJs / mobile DJs because that's a lot more intense. Because it's like literally the person cutting the check and they're right next to you and you got to do what they say right now. Whereas a club owner, manager, there's a lot of other things going on, so you might not be under the gun as much. So back to the question. Club owner comes into the booth, says, play this right now, do this. The DJ says, I know what I'm doing, let me do my job. Two things. Number one, maybe the DJ's right. Maybe the DJ can say, hey, look, in that moment, listen, I know what you want me to do. I'm looking out there, and I don't think it's going to work. Let me try this idea that I have, and if it doesn't work, I'll do what you're asking. Is that cool? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of other DJs in the marketplace that would probably do exactly what that owner wants. But if you present it in that way and the owner goes, okay, I trust you, then you're golden. You're good. Now you've gained the respect of the person that's paying you. And if what you do works, holy shit, you became the guy, right? If the owner is paying attention, you don't even have to say shit after that. Because if it works and he doesn't come back, that's it, dude. Like you might as well just get a custom made plaque and drill it in that DJ booth because that's your house. But let's say that the owner is not okay with that and goes, no, do what I say. Crossroad, decision time. What are you going to do? Do you need the gig? Do you need the paycheck? Is that somewhere you play all the time? Do you have the financial ability? Do you have the courage to say, I'm not doing that. I'll leave if I have to. That's up to the individual in the moment. I don't think that there's a right or wrong answer here. Because if a DJ goes, no, I don't want to do that. I'm doing what I want. I'm doing what I think is best. I respect that. That's cool. You've earned that right as an artist, I think, to say that. But the owner has also earned the right to kick you the fuck off his DJ booth and not pay you for not completing the job that he hired you to do. So that's just what I think. I mean, maybe you get partial payment, maybe you get payment for the night, but you're not going to come back. Both are within their rights to do that, that thing that they're both wanting to do in that moment. I think it would have to entirely rely on the situation. Like if an owner came up to me, I remember I was real young. I don't know if I told this story on the podcast. I was real young and the promoter came up to me and just started yelling at me for playing a song. And I think I've told this story on the podcast. I could have taken a lot of different routes, but I didn't do anything. I was young, kept my job, turned it into this. Upside? Very much. In that moment, I punch him in the face, I lose my job, and everything that happened in my life takes a different direction. Upside? Not so much. It's up to you. Every story is different. Every situation will call for a different action, and I think they're both fine. All right, next question. This is an anonymous one. Does loyalty exist at all in nightlife and DJ culture? I think it does. I think it exists in all aspects of life. It just depends on the people that you're dealing with. I know we're all replaceable, and I've learned recently with venues and managers, and I've learned so recently with venues and managers, yes. I've learned that along my career also. I've remained loyal to for over a decade. Does it even matter? Or is the mighty dollar more important? Wow. The way that you framed that last piece of the question was kind of tough. I don't know. I gotta like really search my feelings for this, because from what I've learned in so many years of DJing, there are very few places and people in nightlife that will be loyal to you. Okay? And it's usually very clear. They're not going to hide their intention. They're not going to hide. It's real. It's fucking written on the wall. You just got to look up. For example, I've been to the club early and heard meetings, which are, if you don't like it, get the fuck out, to the staff. I've been at the club after at another place, and there's a pizza party because the owner on Saturday nights would buy pizza, and basically the entire staff would eat pizza, and it would be like a moment of togetherness, and everyone would eat for free and hang out for a little bit after the club on a Saturday night. And when I experienced that and I like witnessed this, I was like, holy shit, this is the most incredible thing ever. I had never seen that done before. And it was a great way to say, hey, you're important. We care about you. Here's some food. Eat on us. If there's any leftovers, take them. It's Sunday morning. You guys just crushed the whole weekend. Thank you. Here's some food. I mean, it really depends what people, what owners, what managers will show you how you should decide to act around them. I have heard this from a club owner. Hey, I'd really love to book you, but when I book you, one of my regular guys has to sit at home. So I'd rather give him the job than book you. Now, this wasn't to me. This is just something that a club owner said to another DJ. Where does that's loyalty? Where does that lie? That lies with his residents. That lies with the people he works with every week. That's the kind of club owner you want to be with. That's the kind of club you want to work for, because he's going to bat for you. Other side of the token, I've been to a nightclub where the 12-year resident walks in on a Saturday and there's another DJ setting up, and they're like, oh yeah, we don't need you anymore. Thank you. After 12 years of playing the party, he finds out walking into the club. So usually it's fairly easy to distinguish when you should be loyal and when you should always examine your options. So what that means is treat it like a fucking professional. Easy. Real easy. Show up on time, do your job, get your paycheck. Done. Now, you get a club owner that's like loyal to you, like the one that I mentioned that was like saying no to other DJs so he could take care of his residents. You get that guy. I mean, holy shit. That guy calls me at like 4 a.m. on a Wednesday and he's like, yo, can you like pick up my dry cleaning? I'll be like, yeah, bro, where is it? I'll go get it right now. Because I know that guy's going to have my back. And if I ever need a favor, he's going to be there. So like that is my advice. If there's no loyalty, if you see it that they're kind of shady, if you're kind of like, maybe I should get something else going, then work on your side shit. Work on the other clubs. And then you have to be wary because they might open their fucking mouth. So, it's a juggling act at best. You signed up for it, bro. That's nightlife. That's just what it is. It's just what it is. It's good money. It's fast money. You get to do what you love. But there is no perfect job. And there's a little bit of a dark side to everything. And this is a piece of the dark side of nightlife. You got to deal with that kind of shit. Unloyal people, DJs that might talk shit, people that think that what you do is less than them, people that think that what you're doing is wrong, people that think you should be doing what you're doing some other way, people that think you're cheesy, people that think you're corny, people that think you're too serious, people that think you're not having a good time, people that think you're having too good of a time and drinking too much and getting drunk way too often. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone's gonna, see the world through their goggles. But you start concerning yourself with all that stuff, and you're gonna end up tap dancing for too many people at once. You're gonna get too tired, never make money, and never put yourself out there. Yourself meaning the real you. Which leads me to my next question. What a great segue. DJ Finest. How do you deal with DJ politics? Promoters, DJ groups, DJs with club accounts, who book DJs, who you know, who you don't know, who likes you, who doesn't like you, etc. Well, you signed up for it, right? So DJ politics, I'm guessing you mean like in markets where somebody will talk shit and be like, oh, he's not a good DJ. So, you have options. Here's what I decide to do. My fucking job. I just do my job. I go, I play music, I make the club money, I look good doing it, I sound good doing it, I carry myself with an air of professionalism, I build the platforms that I have to build when new market cycles emerge. If social media wasn't a thing, then whatever the thing might be, I'd want to be good at that to more effectively advance my career. Because the further you get out in first place, that third place team eventually just stops trying to yell at you because they realize that you don't care. You're just like, you stay making money, you stay getting on club flyers, you stay getting gigs. Here's a common misconception. If someone's talking shit about you and you think that that's affecting your money, it's most likely not. Very rare occasions. Because, why? Let's say that the point of shit talking is he's not a good DJ. You can easily settle that putting out mixes, playing at multiple other clubs. Whenever somebody comes up to you and says, hey, you're a great DJ, be like, oh, thank you. Why would you think that I wasn't? And maybe they say, oh, this other guy said that you weren't. Maybe you heard me like on an off night or something, because usually I'm crushing. What you heard tonight is what I usually sound like. But thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment. Whatever shit somebody's talking, if you think it's affecting your money, it's most likely not, because it's easy. It's easy to see clearly through to who you are. Now, if you're not a good DJ and someone says he's not a good DJ, then you can get mad for somebody quote unquote talking shit, or you can sit in your fucking bedroom and get better. And that's the big leap. Because that takes looking in the mirror and saying to yourself, I'm not as good as I thought I was. I'm not fulfilling my job as well as I could be. That's a tough conversation to have with yourself. And, I had that conversation with myself years ago when I heard a DJ rock in a club that sounded better than me. And I was like, oh shit, I thought I was good. This guy's murdering. I was like, I cannot allow this to happen. And I shut myself up in my mom's garage and practice and practice and practice and practice. If it's true, then you got to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, can I be a better person? Can I be a better DJ? If somebody says, oh, he's an alcoholic, don't book him. and you're losing gigs because you drink too much, or clubs are telling you you're not allowed to have a bottle anymore, then maybe you need to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, maybe I'm drinking too much. The rumors are either true or they're not. And if they're not true, they're not going to affect your money. They're not going to affect you because they're easily defeated by truth. Truth is unfucking defeated. Ooh! Woohoo! Truth is undefeated. Rumors versus truth in a boxing match. Guess who wins? Truth. 100 times. They fight 100 times. Rumors versus truth in a boxing match. Guess who wins 100 times? The undefeated world fucking champion is truth. So, that kind of shit, you got to let it roll off your back. Keep it moving. Do you. Do work. If there are promoters in your town that you know are good people, be like, yo, I want to work with you. If you need a DJ, let me know. Let's work together. I see that you have really good parties. Anything that you need from me, I'm here to work with you. If there are DJ groups that exist in your city, if they're good people, be like, yo, I would love to hang out with you guys when you guys play at a club. I would like to invite you when I'm playing at a club. If there are DJ groups that are a bunch of salty kids that can't get gigs and you're working and they're talking shit, truth is undefeated. Keep it moving. If there's a bunch of old gatekeeper DJs that are talking shit in their DJ group and you're a new guy and you're trying to do work, keep it fucking moving. Do your job. Do it well. Do it better. No one will be able to stop you as long as you do everything you're supposed to the best of your ability, and without ill intention. Now, if we talk about clubs with accounts, meaning if a club is booking a specific management agency every Saturday, there's probably no getting in there. It's just what it is, guys. It's real easy. And I've stated this before. This is not so much politics. This is more business. This is not so much rumor starting and shit talking. This is business. If the club has every Saturday lined up with a management company, you're not getting in on that Saturday unless that management company or those DJs really fuck up. And the reason why is because they have one check they're writing for the whole month. They have one W-9 that they send out for the whole month. I think that's the right tax form. They have one person that they're contacting for pictures, for flight information, for hotel rooms, for flyer approval, for any issues that might arise, for any tech setups, for hospitality writers. They're contacting the one agent that handles all the DJs for that Saturday. So it's just an efficiency thing. It's just an efficiency thing. You think you're going to get a Saturday, so then what? So then the booker has to think, oh, wait, what DJ is this? This is, wait, are you with that management? No, you're alone, right? You're by yourself? Okay, what do you drink? Because all these other guys, they all drink tequila, but what do you drink? And then, wait, do I write the check out to you? Do you have a business? Do we have your social security? Wait, we need your tax. What the fuck? And you're making all these jobs for the booker or for the manager, when they could just easily be like, here's your check for 4 Saturdays. Make sure the DJs are here. And if there's a problem, I'll contact you. The end. That is just efficient business. Now, could you work any other day of the week? Yes. Will that contract eventually end and those DJs will move on to maybe another venue, or that club will stop booking them? Yes. Can you work a Friday instead of a Saturday? Yes. There's a lot of ways around it. But that's just an efficiency thing. And once a management company builds a relationship with a club, man, it's like a lock. That's a lock. So the only way that people will get in is budget cuts, or somebody really, really shits the bed. Bad. All right, guys, I think that's it. Thank you very much for all of your questions on Instagram. I appreciate all the questions. I didn't get to a lot of them. I'm looking at my phone here. I probably have another 20 to 25 questions that I haven't even answered. So Somebody sent me a message just now. I want to do a second version of this podcast, a second iteration, volume 2. This one I think is going to be called the Instagram podcast. And I'll record the next one tomorrow because I don't want all those DMs to get lost. And then I'll release it on, let's see what day. Yeah, so this will come out today, Wednesday. And then tomorrow, Thursday. So I'll record it Wednesday night to come out Thursday. And then Friday, I'm going to do a feature mix. And that'll be the week. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much for all the questions that got sent in. I might have to cut this one up and then do half. Nah, fuck it. I'll just release it. Yeah, thank you guys for listening. This is My Favorite DJ, the podcast. I forgot. Oh, fuck. Okay, yes, I forgot. So the Amazon thing, I'll add it at the beginning of the podcast also. But, so just to remind you, there is a new way to support this podcast. Basically, if you go to amazon.com/shop/myfavoritedj, I'll have the link in the show notes if you're on the podcast app. I don't know if it comes out if you're in Spotify. I think it should. But anyway, so on the if you go to that link, basically everything that I use for podcasting is there. So the recorder, the microphones, the battery, the memory thing that I use, the memory card. It's not a memory thing. The memory card that I use for the podcast is also there. So there's also different sections, like what's in my DJ bag, the vitamins that I take, some of my other favorite stuff, my home studio setup, some of the gear that I have at home. So I'm going to be adding to these lists. But basically, you go to that website, you go to the Amazon storefront, and you buy these things if you want them, if they would be good for you in your life, and Amazon gives me a small cut, and it's a new way to support the podcast. I've been thinking that I wanted to do this for a while, and I just figured out how to put all this together and contacted Amazon and figured all this out. So if you are interested in supporting the podcast and you'd like to start your own podcast, or you want to take some vitamins, or you want an SSD portable hard drive that I carry in my DJ bag, all of those things are available to you on this Amazon storefront. So check out the link in the show description, and if you need anything, buy it from there. And it's another way to support the podcast. Thank you guys for listening, and I will be back tomorrow with the second piece of the Instagram podcast.